Let's talk about what branch protection rules can do for you. Welcome to this video on GitHub and DevOps. My name is Kevin Fiesel, and I'm the proprietor of Catalyxy Services LLC, a consulting firm which specializes in work all across the data platform space, especially SQL Server. In the prior few videos, we've started to build out some of the tooling around DevOps. We've looked at the GitHub flow, infrastructure as code, and deploying our code from a GitHub repo into Azure. In this video, we are going to set a branch protection rule on our main branch. But before we do that, let's take a few moments and talk about why we might do so. If you are an administrator of a GitHub repository, you can set up a branch protection rule. What this does is that it will prevent users from pushing directly into a branch. Unless they're administrators, in which case rules are for chumps. But in that case, why would we even care about branch protection? There are a couple of reasons for this. The first reason is, it forces use of the GitHub flow. As a quick reminder, a key part of the GitHub flow is to create feature branches, make your code changes in those feature branches, and then create pull requests back to the primary branches. This ensures that your changes are isolated to a specific branch and that they won't affect other developers or end users until we merge them in. The second reason is it promotes code reviews. If I can push directly into a branch, I don't need to do a code review. I could, of course, work it out with another developer and do my code review on the side, but it's easy to skip that step if I'm in a hurry or feeling a little lazy. By contrast, if I need to perform a pull request, there is at least one person looking at the PR, and that person should be reviewing the code. A third reason is we can limit the risk of accidental changes. It's entirely possible for a developer to commit a change and, without even thinking about it, push that change back into the origin. If you're not done with your changes at that point, you've accidentally changed the code that's in GitHub, and now you're locked into making sure that code works. I'm sure you can come up with other reasons as well, but hopefully this gets the point across that branch protection on critical branches is useful. Now let's go into the demo and see how it works in practice. This demo covers Exercise 5, Task 1 of the training on implementing DevOps practices. The plan for this demo is fairly straightforward. We are going to create a branch protection rule on the main branch. Then we'll create a quick code change and see what happens. After that, I'll create a feature branch and show you how to get new code into a protected branch. I'll also create a code owners file for the application directory and the infrastructure as code directory, requiring a code review for any pull request. The process for protecting a branch is simple. Let's navigate to the settings menu of our GitHub repo. From there, I'll select branches from the code and automation tab. I can then choose the button to add a branch protection rule. In here, I can write a regular expression to protect a slew of branches. But my use case is fairly simple. I'll type in main for the pattern. After that, there are a series of checkboxes. I want to check the box to require a pull request before merging. Selecting this option opens up a new set of options, indicating that I should need at least one approver before the pull request is valid. I want to narrow things down further and select the box to require a review from code owners. That way, we can designate owners of a particular set of code. So maybe I have a lead developer owning the applications folder and some of the sysadmins as owners on the infrastructure as code folder. This would allow us to have multiple independent groups working out of the same GitHub repository, and I'll show you what it takes in a few minutes. Scrolling down in the list, there are a few other options we can set around status checks, conversation resolution, signed commits, and more. These are additional ways of locking down your branch. Down near the bottom, there is a checkbox for Do Not Allow Bypassing the Above Settings. By default, administrators can bypass these settings, and you can grant other individuals the right to do so as well. I actually like keeping this box unchecked for one simple reason. Weird stuff happens sometimes, and occasionally you need a person who can cut the Gordian knot. The problem is, that's a lot of power to hand somebody, and This is something we need to do can devolve into, I don't really feel like following the rules today. But that's a personnel issue rather than a technical one, I'd say. And if people are consistently bypassing your rules, maybe look at the rules before you Katie bar the door. Tangent aside, I'm actually going to check this box for now. The reason is, if I don't, the behavior will look just the same as before and the branch protection rule won't actually matter very much because I'm an administrator. Now, let's create this protection rule. Depending on the last time you verified your login, you might get two-factor authentication prompts showing up. Once you take care of any such prompts, you'll have a shiny new rule in place. Now let's see what happens when we try to do something about it. The first thing I'm going to do is create a code owners file. This file goes in the top level directory of your repo. In it, we specify the domains and owners of code in those domains. If I use an asterisk, like I do on line 2, that covers everything in the repo. Then I can have a comma-separated list of GitHub accounts or email addresses for users that we consider code owners. Of course, I might not want a particular person to be a code owner of the entire repo, so I can select folders and set code owners for those individual folders as well. In this case, I've set a code owner for the application folder and one for the infrastructure as code folder. Granted, I've used my GitHub account for all of these, but that's the limitation of just having one account for demonstration purposes. In practice, you can put in as many unique accounts here as you'd like. We've got our code owners file saved, so let's commit it. In GitHub Desktop, I can see my new file, so I'll add a clever commit message and commit to the main branch locally. That worked, so now let's try to push. Ooh, that looks like a scary error message, but all it's saying is I'm not allowed to push into the main branch. What I can do, however, is create a new branch based off of that commit. I'll go to the History tab and right-click on my latest commit. From there, I'll select Create Branch from Commit and call it Add Code Owners, and then select Create Branch. I now have this new branch containing my code owners file, and I can publish the branch to GitHub. Because there's no branch protection on the Add Code Owners branch, the push worked just fine, and now I can create a pull request. I've got the pull request screen up, and I'll make sure that my base branch is the local main branch, not the Microsoft repo. My compare branch is add code owners, so that looks good. On the right-hand side, I can see that I need to add an approver, ensuring that at least one approving review exists. The circumstances here are slightly weird because I'm the only person in this repo, but if there were other people here with me, I could add one of them to the reviewers list. From here, I'll select Create Pull Request. We can see that at least one review is required, so let's go about doing that. I'll navigate to the Files Changed tab and then select the Review Changes drop-down button. In there, I have a few radio buttons, but note that the Approve and Request Changes buttons are disabled because pull request authors cannot approve their own pull requests. That prevents circumventing the code review process. So we're kind of stuck, but only because I don't have anyone else to approve my PR. So for the purposes of showing you the rest of this, I'll navigate back to the Settings tab, go into Branches, and edit my branch protection rule. Scrolling down to the bottom, I'll uncheck the Do Not Allow Bypassing the Above Settings option and save those changes. Now, if I switch back over to my pull request and drill into it, I see that a review is still necessary, but I have one extra option. As long as my PR is in violation, I have a checkbox that reads, Merge without waiting for requirements to be met. The most onerous thing about this is the passive voice, but I'll check the box regardless. This enables the Merge Pull Request button. Incidentally, if I did get somebody to review my pull request, all of these items would show up as green and I'd be able to merge the PR right away. I can still merge and confirm, and that pushes the code out. Now I'll delete the branch and hide my shame. Back in GitHub Desktop, let's select the current branch dropdown and right-click on the Add Code Owners branch, deleting it. That will dump me back into main, where I have a commit to complete. But I don't want to complete that commit by pushing it up, as we've already accomplished the task as a pull request. So let's go into the History tab, right-click on that commit. Because I never had a chance to push the commit, I can still undo it. Doing so shows me the newly created code owner's file again. I can right-click on that and select Discard Changes, getting rid of the change locally. Then I'll fetch and then pull from the origin. This brings down the contents of my pull request, including the code owner's file, so I still have it locally. And from here on out, I can create a pull request for my changes rather than pushing directly into main. Branch protection may not make a lot of sense when you're the only contributor to the repo, but as you start working with other people, there is a lot more value to it. As we saw in this video, branch protection allows us to limit who can push into a particular branch and promotes the use of pull requests and code reviews. In the next video, I'll give you a high-level overview of security features available to us in GitHub repositories. We'll have links and show notes in the description below, and until we see each other in the next video, take care.